we're coming towards the end of this course. We still like this is just a skeleton, but we're starting to become actually start to get into the enlightenment stage, which is the final stage. I've got a plan to move forward with this whole business. It all struck me this morning. I can see it now, so it's all looking good. And so to start with this enlightenment, we've got two videos. The first one is about belief. Okay, so belief is really interesting because really the foundation is that we need belief in ourselves. Okay, and there's two parts, there's two different types of belief. Okay, and it's one is support and one is resistance. So the resistance we'll start with is the people who are stopping you from, who don't believe in you. You know, you may believe in yourself and they're not supporting you. They're actually saying, you know, making it harder for you and actually basically standing in your way in some ways and saying like, go on, you know, prove me wrong, sort of thing. Now, this is something which I've always disliked. I've always disliked the resistant part of belief, and this is really been actually a problem for me, you know, for some time. And if you think about Jesus as well, I'm not saying I'm anywhere near him. I mean, we're all human at the end of the day. But he was coming against a lot of resistance to the point where he was put on a cross and he had to push through that resistance and ask for God's support in that sense. You know, it was really spiritual, really higher power right there. But that's the sort of resistance we're coming across. You know, there's people who are standing in our way and we have to push through them, the naysayers. And that's really difficult. Honestly, I've never liked that at all. And I've only recently sort of come to terms with this because my mentor basically resisted my belief. And I was like, you know, this is bullshit. You know, I had, you know, for 12 hours I was upset. And then the next morning I was just like, I've got all these ideas. Like, it took time. Literally for like half an hour I was like slowly waking up, like tripping a little bit, like how fucked up everything is. But I was already upset the night before, and then as I was processing it, I was like, holy shit, I've got the power. And this is where belief in ourselves really becomes important, and that's where we get that belief in ourselves past that resistance. Really, that's really fucking powerful stuff, because it's really not nice. Honestly, when people are resisting, it feels like you're being like bullied. You know, it's really not nice. Now the other one is support. Now this is my favorite. This is what I'm trying to do here with people, and this is what I believe does a lot of support. I mean, if you think about, you know, the Bible, it's people supporting Jesus, and that's why people are still, you know, talking about him to this day. And that's why the Bible is so, like, you know, spread around, is because there was some injustice which was continued to talk about. It was supported. Okay, and so support is really important. If you're really down and someone says like, you know, I believe in you, and if you say I believe in me and they say I believe that you believe in you, that's fucking powerful in my opinion. That's the shit which actually, like, you know, you can think about people say that their parents might say that they believe in them, and then they say like, you know, I've always looked up to my parents. See, that's where the support, the supporting belief really becomes you start to idolize people who are supporting you in that sense. And the resistance is really, there's certain people who are good for that, and there's certain people who are good for the support, and I'm here for the support. However, I do have that resistance part. I can put that resistance if I'm really like put in a corner. I can tap into that resistance. But support is what I'm here for. This is what I promote, and that's how I believe that people can really do well, because there's so many people who are going to be resisting anyway. I mean, think about how many, you know, dickheads or bullies, you know, the type of people who just aren't very conscious and they're just standing in your way, and they're just, you know, there's plenty of people like that, bro. So I'm here to support, and I want people to support one another too. So that's what I'm here to influence. And I'm sure there's many other people who can resist. And at the end of the day, it's belief in yourself. And so that's really what we want to implement in us, is that belief in ourselves in any endeavor we're taking, whether that's quitting weed, whether that's running a business, whether that's having a family, whether that's achieving success in any endeavor. Okay, so yeah, we're starting to enter the enlightenment stages, and this is the time when we really start to hone our boss level. And yeah, so keep being a beast, keep bossing it, and constant and never ending improvement. Come on.